So what's up, YouTube? So today was my first day back to work after like a year of looking for work. And I know if you guys are out there still looking for work and who have been out there looking for work, you know what a big deal it is to go from filling out 1,000 job applications and not getting any responses, going on 1,000,000 interviews, not getting any feedback. I mean, it's honestly a real milestone, I can say. And it sucks to say that, but I got to be happy and say that, one, it's not, just any job. It's a job within my field. Two, it's a job that's going to pay, um, a fair, decent wage for the amount of work that I do. And three, there's definitely some growth opportunity. And those are three things that's all I really was asking for. So, I just thank God, and I thank, everybody who supported me up until this point. This is really just, again, like a milestone, no real big achievements, but it feels like an achievement. One thing I will say to you guys is that I had to smarten up. I definitely leveraged my AI tools. I used AI to put out my cover letter. I used AI on the interview to help me fix one of the actual issues with one of the machines. So it's just kind of like invigorating to know that, not all of this stuff is going to be working against you. You can turn this around and use it for you. Start your own agency, your own company, your own business, your own software. You can do all kinds of things with this AI stuff, but please do not sit stagnant. Do not stay still. Another thing I'm going to tell you guys is probably very obvious, but in 2025, I think we've gotten so detached with, just submitting applications. We've gotten so detached to it that we've gotten down to the point where we're used to clicking one button to submit an application. And that makes sense because you want to be efficient and you want to streamline your whole your application process. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that the human effect is still very, very real. It's very, very real. You can go into an office, you can ask somebody for an application, you can ask them for the job, and instead of getting all the BS, AI, automatic emails, you can read their face. And that right there is already more information than any employer wants to give you. So if you really feel like you about that life, go to the place where you want to work. Ask them straight up, hey, I'm looking to work here. Are there any open positions? Would you be willing to give me a reference? One thing I did is I tapped into my network, a network that I was not utilizing. One of these people that I tapped into, I had not spoken to for a decade. And mind you, this person had nothing that they owed me or anything. It happened to just be somebody that I knew. I was always nice to her. You could say I had a crush on her, but she was married. But anyway, I was always nice to her. She was always nice to me. I was the, IT guy, head guy, at the time for the hotel. And she was just one of the, regular workers, working in reception. But I always was nice to her, and I always looked at her like, yo, you can always be doing better. And sure enough, now she's working at one of the top 500 companies as a project manager. And she was the only person that I knew who was working at a decent company that I felt comfortable enough to ask for a reference. Not because I had been in contact with her consistently for the last 10 years, but because every interaction I've had with her in the past that I could remember was pleasant. And that alone gave me so much value to the point where it didn't feel weird. And when she answered me back, she came back with all love. She didn't act funny about it. She didn't say, oh, Oh, you come back, just ask me. No, she didn't give me none of that shade. And when I tell you that you have probably at least 5 people on your phone or on your LinkedIn or on your Facebook right now that you haven't talked to, you haven't contacted, you don't want to ask them for the favor, but you can't recall any negative past interactions with that person. You guys have always had solid interactions. You've always had, solid relationships, projects that you've done with them in the past. Man, swallow your pride and hit them up. Mind you, she was not the only one. Let me take that back from what I said. She was not the only person that I knew from my past that I could hit up. But I'm going to say that she was the only one I felt comfortable going to and saying, hey, could you look out for me? There were some other people that would have probably definitely, extended the olive branch for me. But my ego just won't let me contact some of those people. So that's why I know this is good advice to give you guys, because it's something that I had to do. I had to get out of my shell and at least try it. And it was advice that was given to me by somebody else. And I'm going to give it to you, is use your human resources, because frankly, even at the companies, they're not using these human resources. It's all ATS. It's all AI. So go out there and, just shake some hands, meet some people, have a conversation, go to a coffee shop. I'm just giving you guys all the advice that I pretty much had to act on, and I had to change the way I was looking at things and doing things. Another thing I'm going to tell you is to go where you're needed. I know for a fact that a lot of these jobs that post on Indeed, they post on there just to keep their clout up, just to get data. They're not looking to hire people. They put you through 3 interviews. They're not looking to hire people. I know that the people who post on Dice, they at least spend a good amount of money or invest in it. And so they're going to call you back. But again, the job market is so saturated, it's so competitive that just forget about it. One thing I'm going to tell you guys that is still a very good resource. It's been very, very helpful to me. And it hasn't stopped being helpful to me, especially in these times, is Craigslist. On Craigslist, you're always going to find some small business out there that is just looking to hire people. And when I tell you guys, I've gotten some of my quickest hires off of Craigslist. Now, were they some of the big top 500 companies? No. A lot of times they were startups. Most of them are startups. But a lot of times they paid, and they paid more decent than what the market was paying. So I'm going to tell you guys, utilize Craigslist as much as possible, because you're going to see jobs on there from companies that don't want to deal with LinkedIn, that don't want to deal with Dice and freaking Indeed. So use these resources, take some of this advice, and hopefully you guys will be saying the same thing as me, that you finally landed something after looking for a long time and you're back on your feet, or you're back to where you need to go. Hell, I could lose this job tomorrow, but the fact that I was able to get past this roadblock means that, okay, it's not all in my head. People are hiring. That alone just gives me some kind of reassurance. And hopefully you guys hearing me say this is reassurance for some of you guys that, yeah, there are people hiring. You just got to do a little bit of due diligence. You got to get creative, and you definitely got to leverage these AI tools, because if you don't use them, they will be used against you. This is Rems with TNN. Stay up. I'm going to keep giving you guys jewels. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I see that there are about 3% of you that have subscribed. I have about 90 subscribers. That means that even if half of you click that button, I will have 500 subscribers. And if you know what a big deal that is for me, that is a big deal. You guys are going to help me get to this YouTube partnership, and I need your subscriptions. If half of you click the button, I'll be able to tell immediately. There'll be 500 subscribers on this page tomorrow if half of you guys click the button. So if all of you guys click the button, I should be at 1,000, which means I would be monetized, which means that I probably won't even need this job. But yo, just please comment, like, subscribe, especially because it helps the channel big time. I'm going to keep giving you guys these jewels. This is Realms with TNN. Stay up.